If you've ever wondered why giving her space might be the best way to get her attention, picture this. Put all your heart into chasing her, but the more you try to catch her, the harder it becomes. When you pick a new strategy, it turns into silence all of a sudden. Shift a lot. Welcome to today's discussion, where we will integrate the traditional methods. In this video, we look at how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can help us date today. Taking a step back can be the most effective way to attract. It's not enough for women to be difficult to attract. They must possess unwavering resilience. There are positive aspects of self-control and mental independence. By pulling away, you don't just get her attention, you make her want to follow you. Prepare to discover how focusing on minimalism can enhance your productivity. We will talk about how making space can lead to a better life. If you're interested in discovering how less can truly be more, stay tuned. Do not forget to click the like and subscribe buttons for more life-changing ideas. Making your partnerships better by first value. Think about this when you stop trying to get her attention or win her approval all the time. When something strong happens to you, you transform into a rare and valuable rock. Right now, everyone wants to find a twist by taking a step back from you, and she will both start to see how valuable you really are when she finds it easy to trust you because you are always available and prepared. Don't worry, she may not have noticed your table contribution. Now that you've given yourself some room, it's like you've shown off your own beauty. Contributors. She's not just noticing that you're there, she's feeling what your absence means. That absence says a lot. Maybe it's the way you always knew how to make her smile on a bad day, or how you stood by her when things got tough. It could be the little things you do to show her you care, like remembering a song she loves or bringing her comfort food. Now she's by herself with her ideas after getting a boost. Thinking about all the ways you made her life better, many of which she may not have known about, makes me happy. I enjoyed those quiet moments, secret jokes, unexpected signs, and understanding looks, and these memories are now playing over and over in her mind. Her mind transforms things that were once normal into things she truly misses from a Stoic perspective. From your perspective, this shift involves more than just her noticing your absence. It involves you as well. By stepping back and not seeking approval, you can boost your self-esteem. The Stoic concept emphasizes the importance of valuing oneself and not relying on others for happiness or putting your personality on someone else. Elle knows this isn't about playing. It's about understanding that your worth doesn't depend on what other people think of you. How much love or attention do you receive from others after you stop? You begin to craft your own narrative as you navigate your own life, all while pursuing her words, like spending money on things that make you happy and following your dreams. And she starts to understand how much you really added to her best times as a person. She misses the times when you were her rock and brought her happiness, love, and warmth without her having to ask. As a reward, she's beginning to understand how much you're really worth, not because you drew her attention, but because you stepped back and let her feel the void. So while you're out living your life, learning and growing, she's becoming increasingly aware that you were not just another option, but an important one. A lifetime, and let me tell you, friend, when she gets to this realization, it's like she's found a prize or a gem that was always there but was only now being seen. Your strength lies in being truly seen. Her lies no longer interest you, and she may now be looking for you. Now that you understand the power of taking a step back and recognizing your value, now is the time to stop and think. Consider how this relates to your life. Have you been continuously seeking approval in your own life, or have you allowed others to do so? If this word has reached you, give yourself a chance to experience true love for who you are. I agree with you. Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to type, "I am my own treasure," if you're starting to understand what I mean. Your reflections are always welcome, and they might just show how significant you are. Motivate someone else to go on the same journey. Let's keep talking as we move on to the next one. Growing attraction is the second point. We often hear that lack. As time progresses, even though it may seem like a cliché, there's a lot of truth in it. Let's look into it more by combining this idea with thoughts from Stoics. When you take a step back, you're not just creating space. Creating worth, interest, and mystery in your work is what I mean. Let's say you quit texting, calling, and constantly trying to impress her. Focus on your objectives, your development, and your progress. Developing yourself from a Stoic perspective is where your power lies. You're not looking for her approval or validation. You no longer feel comfortable. Your purpose keeps you grounded, and this quiet confidence shines through without you having to say a word. Think about how she sees this. Change your call and text frequency and stop pursuing your goals. If you use any means necessary to win her favor, suddenly you become more difficult to reach out to. She becomes interested in what you're doing and wonders if you're following your. Are you focusing on your job or your hobbies? This helps you reach your goals. Make the mystery around you into a puzzle that she wants to answer while you're away. She begins to see you in a new light as she considers the person you're becoming. Your past pursuits may have hidden light-seeing skills, she said. She remembers why she initially liked you, your wit, drive, and fun. She's falling in love with you again, and because you've stopped, your allure grows. Stoic philosophy tells us that we can't control what other people think of us. We can only control our thoughts and actions by stepping back. By exercising this power, you show that your happiness isn't dependent on her appearance, which shows that she values independence, peace, and respect. She is naturally beautiful, and when you stop wanting to chase her, she can sense a change in you. If she were the center of your universe, shifting your attention to someone else leaves a void. The gap makes her more attractive as she starts to think about where you are and what you're doing, and the mystery of why you're not as open interests her even more. Furthermore, surrendering the pursuit demonstrates your self-worth. You won't risk your pride or self-worth for someone else's attention. You have a Stoic attitude, which means you stay cool, collected, and not attached to what you need. Instead of attempting to win her approval, concentrate on the changes you can make in your life and your personal development. This speaks volumes more than any fancy moves she may make in the future. Start missing you and noticing the little things that caught her attention at first. Maybe it's your ability to find the right words, your quiet confidence, or the times you spend together that make time stand still. But when you're not around, all of these qualities stand out more and look better. For men, this presents a paradox. When desire is involved, doing nothing is often best. From pursuit. By not giving her too much attention, you let her interest grow. She gets 3. She naturally blossoms without any pressure. Imagine that you've been relentlessly chasing her the whole time. He was the one who first reached out to her and tried to stay in her line of sight, almost like a child. Each morning, on a windy day, you send her a chasing kite message, and you often find yourself in places she likes, hoping she'll see you. Notice how all of a sudden you stop sending good morning texts. There are no more meetups. It's as if she's forgotten about you. There is a quiet void. What do you think will happen next? That's the point. Everything changes when you step back and break the familiar routine. As she adjusts, her mind begins to buzz with questions. What caused him to suddenly retreat? Now, you've become an enigma beyond her comprehension. As she figures it out, her interest begins to grow. Your style is very Stoic. Instead of trying to control what happens, you let it happen. Things change on their own without any extra effort, and interest is a big part of that. It's part of being human, especially when things don't go as planned. If you stop chasing her and stop giving her all your attention, she starts to. When she thinks about you, she'll check her phone to see if she missed any texts from you. If you mention your name, she will pay closer attention and suddenly become interested in what you're doing. Your whereabouts and activities worry her. And why have you stopped trying to get her attention? Think about this. The longer you pursue, the more confident they become that they are in control. They have power, but when you pull away and stop trying to get her acceptance, you undergo a significant transformation and reclaim your authority. Now she thinks about more importantly. It's not because you're after her, but because your absence has made her miss you. She's interested in that new place and wonders what she might have missed. It's crucial to determine whether she has lost interest in you or if you've moved on. This transition to new adventures or new friends is similar to Stoicism. Wisdom perfectly. Always wanting someone to like you is a sign of. However, once you take a step back and cease pursuing her, you alleviate Chase's stress and enhance your attractiveness. Process your self-assurance and confidence. Grow because you're no longer. If you need her approval to feel good about yourself, here's a powerful truth. Some things seem out of reach, but when you stop chasing them, they catch your eye. Become that unanswered question that keeps her thinking about you more and more. It's not because you're engaging in games, but rather because you've transformed into an intriguing individual who provokes thought. Simply by stepping back and allowing her interest to take over, you've successfully changed the subject. She'll notice the change as she gets to the most interesting part of her day, and before you know it, she'll be after you, eager to find out why you're suddenly interested in her. That's how you effortlessly alter the narrative, my friends. You become the puzzle she wants to solve, the secret that keeps her interested by not. When you need her, she can't help but gravitate toward you. When you take care of your own health and happiness, you become more attractive. Before we proceed to the next point, let's pause and reflect on what has transpired. Take a step back and allow her to inspire you to make this powerful change. Give her time to understand how valuable you are without constantly trying to get her attention. It's a gentle way to show her that you care. Still, a big change based on Stoic philosophy. Detachment leads to, what do you think about this approach? Have you ever felt a natural draw and inner strength? What do you think about a similar situation? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you agree, just type, "I reclaim my power." It's a simple statement. This implies that you possess control over your own energy. Fourthly, she takes time to reflect on the situation. This is interesting. Noticing that when you step back, something very powerful starts to happen in her mind while you're not there. Sparks doesn't just fade into the background. Instead, she may not have had time to think about herself before. It's as if you've placed a mirror before her. She's seeing herself from a whole new angle for the first time. Starts to doubt everything. Was she too rude the last time she spoke to you? Plans. Did her answers seem dull? Or did the way she laughed at your stories seem fake? Insincere, she might start to wonder if what she did made you grow apart from her. This is where it gets tricky. It holds her attention and turns her mind into a trial, where she stands as both the suspect and the judge converse over old tapes and read through texts. She revisits past encounters to see if there were any mistakes. Did she make any? Her tone sounded a little frosty, and she seemed a little far away. This isn't just a passing fear, it's that she starts to think about her actions from a point of view she hasn't thought about before. Think about it before she goes through all of your old photos of you together. I was forced to closely examine her actions, attitudes, and willingness to connect. This is because you're leaving leaving a quiet space. Always being engaged, this nothingness makes her question not only what your relationship is like, but also about her own self. And this is where Stoic knowledge shines through when you pull back, show emotional restraint, and stay detached and practice basic Stoic values instead of reacting to what she does. Whether you're desperate or just want to fix things right away, you choose to focus. Consider this. Unlike the Stoics, you aren't seeking her support or reassurance. Epictetus said that we can't change the outside world, but we can always change ourselves. Pick how we respond to them. You've chosen not to follow her, but to let her do it. She has the ability to form her own conclusions, which frequently result in unexpected outcomes. To better herself, she might acknowledge that she wasn't as dedicated as she could have been, or that she stole your ideas. She may realize that she didn't put in enough work when she looks back. With the space you've provided her, she's now beginning to make changes. This time to think helps. She's becoming more aware of how she treats you and other people around her, and sobriety is truly beautiful in relationships because it helps her reach these goals. Come to her own decisions without being forced or manipulating others while you're living your best life and working on your own growth and ambitions. You're not just waiting for her to come back, you're becoming the Stoic ideal of resolve, which is growing no matter what. This stance gives you a lot of power. You've mastered the arts. You should maintain detachment and self-control, understanding that your value lies within, not outside of her attention. If you choose to reconnect with her, you'll likely discover that she has undergone a transformation, more interested, thankful, and maybe even more attracted to you than before. Why? Because your absence gave her time to think and figure out what there's no harm in losing. You've both grown and changed for the better. And now things are better in the relationship, so remember when. It doesn't matter if you stop following her. You'll actually gain something. By showing her mental strength and giving her time to think, silent power in relationships involves letting go of the need to grow. Thanks to Chase for helping you both grow into better people. Number 5. She changes her focus. Think about this situation when you're with her. If you are always with her, she might forget the little things you do to make her day better. Although your conversations made her feel better or your company calmed her, she didn't feel that way. She fully enjoyed these things because they were always there, but when you take a step back, the silence that follows prompts her to reflect, and she begins to comprehend her situation. She is lost and begins to understand why she didn't enjoy those times more while they were happening. This change isn't just about psychology. It's a stern lesson coming out. Stoicism says to focus on yourself and not on what's out of your reach. Separating one's happiness from other people's actions and recovering one's own strength is crucial. When you withdraw, you're not playing with her feelings. Instead, you're giving her what she needs. The chance to figure out your own worth, for example. If you've consistently invited your friend to hang out, she might not appreciate your initiative. You should always reach out, but if you don't, she might wonder why you're not getting back to her. Not calling to explain why she can't go on those fun dates. This could motivate her to value your work more and perhaps pique her interest in reconnecting with you. When she adjusts her goals to include you more carefully, it means more than a passing fancy. It shows she values your part in her life and that you are willing to put effort into the relationship. This change wouldn't have happened if you hadn't taken a step back. By embracing Stoic wisdom and relinquishing the desire for her approval, you allow her to recognize your significance. In effect, when a woman starts to turn her attention back to you, she frequently includes you, which is a strong indication that she's more than just curious if she's committed. This change in goals only happens when you stop. Remember that sometimes the best way to catch her is to let her come up to you. In order to progress, you must relinquish control and embrace the inevitable. If you've made it this far, I'd love to hear what you think about. Please leave a comment below to share your thoughts, or if this post resonates with you. If it resonates with you, simply type, "I embrace the power of letting go" to confirm your understanding. I value your voice and would like to see how we are connecting. She realizes. Let's move on to number 6. Imagine yourself working hard to gain her attention and investing in her feelings. In every chat, you do everything, all the time, but then you pause, not out of anger or defeat, but from a deep insight rooted in Stoicism. Smarts. By stopping your pursuit, you give her a chance to do something she hadn't planned on. Take some time to think about your relationship. This is when things really start to change. A slight shift in the mood makes you less available all of a sudden, and you have to go to hers whenever she wants. The dynamics change when you take a step. Going back, it's like you sparked a thought or understanding in her that wasn't there before. This idea is presented to her before she begins to feel feelings she had previously buried. Stoicism instructs us to relinquish control over unchangeable aspects and concentrate on our inner realm. When you stop chasing, you detach yourself from external factors. She might respond or pay attention to you, but you continue to work independently. This focus on herself gives her mental peace, strength, and high self-esteem. She needed the space to reflect on her true feelings for you, back when you were always writing or calling. When making plans, she didn't have to consider your importance. She may have even considered it. I used to take you for granted, but now that you're gone, there's a gap, and as they say, nature hates a silence. She starts to notice things she had missed before, like how your words made her happy or how snug she felt when you were close. You feel like you've stopped a video, and she's now going over all the important parts again. In her thoughts, she found it easy to forget those times because you were always present and visible. Therein lies the real power, as Marcus Aurelius said many times. The obstacle to taking a step back transforms something that is in the way into a path. Your absence is exactly what makes her realize how important you are to her. She might smile at a joke you told her or notice how quiet her phone is. She can't read your texts because each understanding builds on the last one, leading to a powerful revelation. You made her life more valuable in a way she didn't know. Remember that until you take a step back, this realization doesn't happen. Not all at once. It's like embers that slowly build up into a fire that she might start. I'm curious about where you are, who you're with, and most importantly, why aren't you there? She senses your absence, which prompts her to confront the situation. The beauty of it is that she comes to this conclusion on her own. She already made up her mind, so you didn't have to try to convince her. Gave her space to go through it. So guys, the best way to it might not be through relentless pursuit and hard work that you can win her heart. Could be found in the quiet strength of taking a step back and letting her face her feelings. When she reaches that moment of understanding, she will know what it was like to have you. It will have more meaning because she chose to do it, not because of you. The Stoic way of life is to keep yourself and everything else under control. Number 7, the fear of losing you. Picture this. As soon as you stop chasing her, everything changes. It seems as though you've altered the guidelines, and she's uncertain if you're still drawn to the past. Chance the person you were trying to get her attention has now turned into her. Wondering why you've stepped back from this change causes deep worry inside me. Having her worry that she might lose you is something we're used to. When something starts to move away, it makes us value it more because it seems like we are unable to hold on to it any longer. This is a powerful psychological trick. we naturally yearn for things that are just beyond our reach. By pulling back, you go from being easy to get to being hard to get. Mystery is a highly sought-after gift that is not as easy to obtain as before. Her thoughts of you are growing as you become unreliable and elusive. If she feels unsure, she might find herself constantly checking herself. As she waits for a text message that doesn't come as often as it used to, she might question if she pushed you away or did something wrong. Worry about losing you gets worse. This is where the ideas of Stoicism align well with this dynamic by opting not to pursue her. You show that you can handle your feelings and believe in your own worth. It doesn't depend on her acceptance. You take no action toward the end result, a basic Stoic attitude rather than reacting emotionally. When you keep a serene detachment, it doesn't mean you're forcing a relationship. It doesn't matter. It demonstrates your awareness of your value and your refusal to beg for help. Her fear of losing you drives her into the love that usually comes next. Action. The clear lack of your efforts makes her feel the change very strongly. She might start talking to him more, send him texts, or attempt to reconcile with him. Spark basically starts to put in the same amount of work you were trying to do. Retrieve the link she believes is fading. Think about how this shows Stoicism, wisdom. By taking a step back, you let her see how valuable your last words were. You let her think about what she might lose by giving her space. About games, it's about knowing how the natural give and take works. Regarding relationships, when you stop chasing, you're not just having fun, you're really paying attention. Focus on your growth, happiness, and health, and by doing that, you give her the chance to move forward. This method is powerful, but it comes with a stoicism that implies that your motivation should come from self-respect, not manipulation. The goal isn't to manipulate her into liking you by controlling your decision to back off. It's important to remember that your happiness doesn't hinge on the approval of others. Rather, it stems from understanding your own worth. Choose not to do what doesn't help you when you pull away. Give her the opportunity to truly appreciate your presence, feel the fear of being without it, and grow. Think about what being with her means to her in the long run. The fear of losing you is successful because it shows that you are whole on your own. True strength comes from knowing you don't need someone else to make you happy. As we conclude this discussion, take a moment to think about how this dynamic shows up in interactions. This kind of shift, where stepping back changes everything, is really interesting to see. Making space can make someone think about what they've been taking for granted. Feel free to comment on whether you've seen this or if it fits your approach. If you have an opinion about partnerships, feel free to leave a comment below. If this message resonates with you, let's begin. The eighth thought that crossed her mind sparked her next action. Competitive edge. Assume that you've been the one pursuing her the entire time. With all the power behind her, she had no trouble getting your attention. But what happens when you take a step back? Suddenly, the tables are turned. She is no longer pursuing you to win your heart. It's not just her trying to catch your eye. Other people may also be trying to do the same, starting a new spark. There is a fire within her, and this drive isn't just jealousy, though it could play a role. There's a part of her that wants to prove her worth to herself. She wants to demonstrate that she deserves your attention, time, and energy as soon as you stop. When she senses that she might not receive your attention, she begins to pursue you, taking extra care with how she looks or showing sudden interest in your interests, like your favorite music or sports. She's trying to remind you of why you were first interested in her, or those hidden places you love to visit. Ironically, you end up becoming the pursuer, just like you were at the beginning. She tries harder to pull closer as you pull away, but it only makes things worse. That's better. She's not just trying to win you back. She's really trying to Whether she knows it or not, she's stepping it up to be her best self. The things she does to impress you help her grow as a person. When Stoic knowledge shines, it teaches us how important it is. We must possess self-control, exercise patience, and recognize that our control is limited to ourselves. By taking a step back and not letting your feelings get in the way, you can relentlessly pursue her, displaying a calm confidence that is truly present. By looking good, you show her that your worth comes from inside, not from her. This attitude of being content and unfazed is what really moves her. I'm reminding her that if she doesn't act, someone else will. Might you eventually change into someone suddenly worth pursuing? Her natural competitiveness led her to win a prize in a game she wasn't even aware she was playing, urging her to take the lead. So guys are sometimes the most powerful. The best thing to do is to take a step back and let her come to you. Get her excited about competing and help her live out the Stoic values of inner peace and independence. You're not after anyone, you're just letting things happen. What should happen in this space is that either she steps up or you move. Ensure that your value has never been dependent on her from the beginning. As we conclude today's discussion, it's crucial to keep in mind that to get a woman's attention, it's sometimes best to step back. This method involves not only altering the standard pace, but also Stoic advice advises us to maintain our honor and respect for ourselves. Focusing on your own life instead of relentlessly chasing someone gives you power. If you don't, your attractiveness will naturally increase. This space gives her a chance to think. She often begins to realize what she's been missing. Strategy is not about tricking people, it's about being honest with yourself, having confidence when you stop trying to get other people's acceptance. Take back your power and give off a calm, sure vibe that makes people want to be around you. Please leave a comment below and share if you found this talk useful. Share your stories. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more articles like this. See the suggested videos on your screen for more help with mastering how to attract people to you. Thanks for watching today. See you in the next video.